Ladies and gentlemen, the Celtics have done it again. They are retaining Sam Cassell as he will be staying with this team, getting an increased role in Joe Mazzulla's coaching staff. And this is huge as he was being looked at by a plethora of teams as a head coach and an assistant coach. Plus, Brian Scalabrine dives in on ex-Boston Celtic not being invited to any of their celebratory festivities in Kendrick Perkins after his wild takes. We'll be diving in on all of this and more on Celtics Digest. I'm Bruce Veliz. If you guys enjoy the content, we appreciate you guys tuning in. Hit that like button as it has been fantastic for the channel growth. Thank you guys so much. But let's dive in to the news today. Without further ado, grab a snack. First thing that we're going to be diving in and looking at is Kendrick Perkins not allowed at any of the Boston Celtics celebrations. And that is right, ladies and gentlemen. It is crazy. We got some news coming in from Brian Scalabrine here detailing that Kendrick Perkins was excluded from the Celtics access policy for ex players. If you guys do not know what that really means, we're going to dive into it here. Ahead of the start of the season, Boston Celtics head coach Jrue Mazzulla reestablished an open door policy when it comes to the franchise's former players and coaches, saying that he hopes that any Celtic feels like they can come to any practice or any game and be a part of that, Mazzulla told NBC Sports Boston at the time. Well, maybe not every Celtic. And we saw this with a plethora of guys. Kevin Garnett, Paul Pierce, Rajon Rondo, Eddie House obviously working with the Celtics, Scal working for NBC Sports Boston. They're already there. But on multiple and plethora of ex-Celtics. Even Grant Williams, who's a current player in the NBA, still being in attendance for when the trophy was raised in Game 5. Bunch of Celtics ex-players all welcome back, all, welcomed with open arms. But Kendrick Perkins may be the one that is not. Scalabrine even went so far as to state that the former Celtic ESPN journalist has had a bag of scarlet letter with the franchise. Originally acquired by Boston via a trade in the 2003 NBA draft, Perkins spent his first 8 seasons of his NBA career with the franchise, serving as a center with their championship team in 2008. And then obviously, he has been, he's been a native of Texas and has been working for NBA and ESPN. He's been, criticizing people, been saying some crazy things. And the Celtics fans have kept their receipts. We've all seen the clips on Twitter, and if you haven't, go check them out, of all the montages of Perkins saying they need to break up the Celtics. Jayson Tatum and Jaylen Brown are not going to work together. And that's the type of things that would lead to something like this, would lead to some sort of banishment or, not being invited. And apparently that's the case with Perkins here, as kind of hated on Kristaps Porziņģis during the 2022 season, and unsurprisingly, due to the fact of all this hatred and all this talk that he has said on ESPN, Perkins wasn't among any of the former Celtics players to attend, obviously, Friday's championship parade. But, however, he didn't stop ESPN from having a presence at the event, with Jaylen Brown using his wardrobe to take to a nose to talk about his colleague with Stephen A. Smith. So obviously kind of diving in and looking at that, we can see and tell that obviously the Celtics players and, front office and coaching staff wasn't the biggest fan of the things that Perkins had said throughout the season. And the Celtics fans obviously weren't either. Throughout the tweets that Perkins was saying through the playoffs, he was switching sides, coming back to the Boston side, and among myself and many others, they were telling him to stay on that side and to not come back and, really support us, because all the hate and all the bashful, just unworthily things that he said in the past seasons and even this season about this squad were crazy. There was one time I was at the barbershop getting my hair cut, and it was after one of the times I think the Celtics had lost that 20-point game to Cleveland, and he was talking about how if Cleveland can beat them, what are the teams like the Bucks and the Sixers and the Knicks think? And it's like, bro, we didn't even get to play any of them because they were all injured, and they didn't even get to play us. Like, you don't know what's going to happen in the playoffs, and look what happened with the Celtics. They took care of every team with ease and won the finals in 5 games, with that being obviously their longest series of the entire playoffs was 5 games, and it happened in 3 of their series and getting a sweep as well. You can't hate on this team. It was built for success, and Perkins, unfortunately, kind of, bit the short end of the stick there and kind of got karma thrown right back at him. And honestly, I think it is justified for the fact on the way that he has handled things. And I'm on the side of the Celtics in not inviting him. And I don't think that, he should be participating in being, able to switch sides that quickly just because he was a champion with this 2008 squad, depending on what he says. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section, because I think that it's been absolutely ridiculous on what Kendrick Perkins has said about this team. Maybe next season he'll change his mind. Maybe he'll be a Celtics rocker, and then if he does, he can, kind of switch up stuff at that point. But it's been absolutely ridiculous. Who knows? He might just, going back to saying nonsense on ESPN once again. But here we go. Let's dive to the next part here in the video, which is the important part. Sam Cassell is staying. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Sam Cassell will be retained and will be joining back with this Boston Celtics team next season. We want to look at this report from Trevor Lane here on Twitter. It came down from the Steinline, Mark Stein, but he said, as the great Steinline reported, the Celtics plan to elevate Sam Cassell, which will remove him as an option for JJ Redick's coaching staff. The Pelicans obviously want to keep JJ Borregos. He doesn't want to go to the Pistons or Cavs. So this is him, kind of talking about the Lakers trying to get some assistance for JJ Redick. But in the big news in the grand scheme of things is that Sam Cassell will be getting a promotion with the Boston Celtics in Joe Mazzulla's coaching staff, and that is huge. We've seen this Celtics teams lose a plethora of coaches in the assistant staff. Obviously, Charles Lee, one of our assistants this season, is going off to Charlotte to become their head coach. Obviously, we lost Ime Udoka due to some unworthy reasons that we don't need to talk about. We lost Damian Stoudemire to Georgia Tech because he wanted to go to college. The year prior, we lost Joe Hardy to go to Utah. So the Celtics have had an abundance of coaches, moving on, going on to better things, but also have had to go and try to fill those roles. And the Celtics this year also were kind of speculating something happening similar with Sam Cassell as well, due to the fact that, he was a guy that could be leaving. And I thought personally, if you guys missed one of our videos talking, you can check it out, that Jeff Van Gundy was going to be one of those guys that was going to hop in and be another assistant head coach alongside Sam Cassell here in Boston. But that did not happen, as he also left to go to the Los Angeles Clippers. So like I mentioned, a lot of people have left this Celtics team to go on and become head coaches, and that's good for them. I'm not hating on them. But Sam Cassell was one that we could not lose as well. Joe Mazzulla brought in Sam Cassell, brought in Charles Lee as his, handpicked two assistant coaches. And due to that, leading with the fact that Joe Mazzulla had the full training camp along with the roster getting upgraded, led to us getting Banner 18. And if the Celtics want to, keep continuing, want to get this dynasty start going after seeing that fantastic, celebration at the parade yesterday, they obviously want to continue and push for Banner 19 and possibly even Banner 20 in the near future with this same squad. So ultimately, you want to have the roster be fit, ready to go at the start of the season, and you want to have the coaching staff and being able to keep Sam Cassell, a two-time obviously champion with the Boston Celtics, one time as a player, one time as now as an assistant head coach, but also a guy who gets along with the players, understands the city of Boston, really just justifies his play style. His play style is very similar to how Boston fans really understand and appreciate basketball as a whole. You know that he loves the city, and the fact that he can get an upgrade at that alongside staying here, retaining here, getting to play alongside his players, and just fitting in with this scheme, it works perfectly for the Boston Celtics, and I think was huge for the Celtics here. Now, obviously, with Charles Lee leaving, there's obviously going to have to be another assistant head coach coming, and if you guys did not know, the main Celtics head coach is also going with Charles Lee to Charlotte. So the Celtics will obviously have to find a replacement there as well for the main Celtics head coach, have to find another assistant, and that's going to, be done in the offseason, and we'll have some videos breaking down and talking about that. But let me know what you guys think about Sam Cassell, as he is going to be staying with this Boston Celtics squad. I think this was huge. I think this was meant to be. I think this is impactful. He was getting looked at by the Lakers. He was getting looked at by the Bucks as an assistant head coach. He was getting looked at by a plethora of teams. So the ability that he's saying, no, I want to stay, I want to ride with this team, I feel something comfortable in the city of Boston, and I'm getting an upgrade in my coaching abilities as well. I think that is good for the fans, good for the franchise, and also great for Sam Cassell, who ultimately deserves it the most. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. Before we head out, though, as you guys know, we have to get to the comment of the day. Drop down your thoughts, drop down your comments down below, and you could be featured for the comment of the day. Really appreciate everybody dropping down their thoughts, hitting that like button, supporting. Even yesterday, I got somebody on the train shouting me out, recognizing me from the YouTube channel, my first recognition, so I want to shout out to that girl. Really, really do appreciate everybody that has shown their support on the channel this year. If we look at this comment of the day from T.104 saying, I don't think we have to worry, Bruce. It's Brad Stevens. He never failed us. So I trust everything he does. And I totally, one-heartedly agree. In Brad, we trust. And this was talking about in our recent video, going over Brad Stevens possibly trading up in the draft to select a big man for the Boston Celtics in Kello Ware. If you you guys missed that video, definitely check that out. We posted that earlier. It was a good one. Celtics have a lot to worry about in this off season. We obviously have the draft coming up in less than a week. Will they trade up? Will they trade back? Will they use that pick to trade for another quality role piece? We'll have to wait and see what this Celtics team does. And then with free agency looming, we do have some free agents. Tillman, Mihailuk, Brissett is decision for his player option is tomorrow. Luke Cornett's a free agent. We'll have all of that breaking down for you. So if you want to make sure you stay updated on the news and everything revolving around this Celtics team, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, check out the videos linked at the top. I appreciate everybody's support here. Celtics brought home banner 18, and just because they did that in the offseason, the content will not stop here over on Celtics Digest. Appreciate all of you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys so much. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Have a great rest of your night, and go Boston Celtics.